Introduction. In the quiet town of Crestwood, where the days unfolded with a predictable rhythm, lives John, an unassuming man who found solace in the simplicity of his work at the local hardware store. His days were marked by routine, a careful dance with the mundane, until an unexpected encounter altered the course of his life. Nestled within the heart of Crestwood was Emily's charming cafe, a haven for those seeking refuge from the outside world. She, too, found comfort in the familiar faces that graced her establishment day in and day out. It was on a rainy afternoon, the kind that drapes the town in a gentle mist, that John's and Emily's paths crossed. Seeking shelter from the downpour, John stepped into Emily's cafe, unknowingly stepping into a destiny that would challenge the very fabric of their existence. Little did they know that this seemingly ordinary encounter would weave a tapestry of romance and mystery, intricately bound by the threads of their shared stories. Their connection was not one forged in grand gestures or sweeping proclamations, but in the silent moments when words lingered in the air, unspoken yet profoundly understood. As days turned into weeks, a subtle longing began to take root within them, a yearning for something beyond the surface of their ordinary lives. Yet, as fate would have it, shadows from the past emerged, casting doubt upon the fragile foundation of their burgeoning romance. A stranger arrived in Crestwood, carrying with them the weight of untold secrets that threatened to unravel the delicate balance John and Emily had delicately constructed. The journey that unfolds is not a tale of whimsical fantasy or improbable serendipity. Instead, it is a story of two souls navigating the complexities of life, grappling with the scars that time had etched upon them. Their hesitant hearts, scarred by tragedy, are brought together by an undeniable force, only to face the harsh realities of broken trust and the haunting shadows of the past. In the face of adversity, John and Emily discover the strength of their connection, as they confront their individual pain and embark on a journey of healing. This is not a story of escapism, but rather a portrayal of the resilience of love in the face of life's inevitable challenges. Join John and Emily as they navigate the twists and turns of their intertwined destinies, seeking solace in each other's arms and finding hope in the most unexpected places. Through the tapestry of their shared experiences, they will discover that love has the power to transcend even the darkest chapters of their pasts, offering them a chance at a new beginning in the quiet town of Crestwood.
Chapter 1: The Encounter. Nestled within the picturesque embrace of Crestwood, a quaint town where the ebb and flow of daily life echoed through familiar faces and routine, resided two souls destined to intertwine. John, a man of quiet contemplation, found his days marked by the orderly cadence of his work at the local hardware store. His hands, calloused from years of handling tools and materials, mirrored the steadfast reliability he brought to the unassuming tasks of his everyday life. Opposite to John's measured demeanor was Emily, a vivacious spirit whose charm radiated from her like the warmth of a sunbeam. The heart of Crestwood beat within the walls of her small cafe, where the tantalizing aroma of freshly brewed coffee mingled with the comforting hum of quiet conversations. Her radiant smile, a beacon of hospitality, welcomed patrons into a space that served not only as a haven for caffeine enthusiasts but as a community hub where stories were exchanged and friendships blossomed. On this particular afternoon, the sky above Crestwood wore a heavy cloak of grey, and raindrops danced on the cobblestone streets, leaving behind glistening trails. John, having completed his duties at the hardware store, found himself caught in the sudden downpour. Seeking refuge from the capricious weather, he made his way to Emily's cafe, a place he had passed by countless times but had never ventured into. As he entered the cozy establishment, the inviting scent of freshly ground coffee beans enveloped him, providing a respite from the cold embrace of the rain outside. The muted chatter of patrons and the rhythmic hum of the espresso machine created a harmonious backdrop to the intimate setting. It was in this unassuming space that fate orchestrated its quiet masterpiece. Emily, engrossed in the routine of managing her cafe, looked up from behind the counter to welcome the unexpected visitor. Their eyes met, and in that fleeting moment, the ordinary world around them seemed to pause. John, usually reserved and composed, found himself drawn to Emily's warmth, while Emily, in turn, felt a curious connection with the stranger who sought refuge from the storm. In the shared glance that transcended mere courtesy, a subtle spark ignited, an intangible thread woven into the fabric of their destinies. Little did they know that this seemingly inconsequential encounter would set in motion a series of events that would challenge the simplicity of their lives and lead them down a path of unexpected romance and unraveling mystery. The rain continued to drum on the windows, an unwitting accomplice in the unfolding tale of John and Emily's fateful meeting in the heart of Crestwood.
Chapter 2: Silent Connection. The rain outside continued its rhythmic dance, casting a soft melody that accompanied the intimate conversation unfolding within the confines of Emily's cafe. John and Emily, brought together by the capricious weather, found themselves immersed in a dialogue that transcended the ordinary exchanges of casual acquaintances. Seated across from each other in a quiet corner of the cafe, surrounded by the comforting hum of conversations and the soothing ambience, John and Emily began to peel back the layers of their lives. The awkwardness that often accompanies new connections dissipated like mist in the warmth of their shared stories. As their conversation unfolded, an unexpected synergy emerged. John, the reserved man of few words, found himself opening up to Emily in ways he hadn't anticipated. His stoic demeanor gave way to a genuine engagement, and for the first time, he felt the ease of being truly heard. Emily, with her perceptive nature, recognized the sincerity behind John's guarded expressions. Their exchange revealed a shared love for old movies, a common ground that became a bridge connecting two seemingly disparate worlds. Nostalgia wrapped itself around their words as they reminisced about the magic of classic films, finding solace in the familiar narratives that had shaped their individual perceptions of romance and life. It wasn't just the movies, they discovered a mutual fondness for rainy days, the very weather that had serendipitously brought them together. Emily, with her radiant smile, expressed an appreciation for the cleansing nature of rain, while John, in his quieter way, confessed to finding solace in the gentle pitter-patter against the window panes. Despite their differences, John's quiet introspection contrasting with Emily's exuberant charm, a subtle and unspoken connection seemed to grow between them. It was as if the rain outside had seeped into the fabric of their conversation, weaving an invisible bond that defied explanation. In the pauses between words, in the shared glances and the genuine laughter that echoed through the cafe, something profound was taking root. As the rain persisted outside, John and Emily found themselves lost in the cocoon of their shared world, a world where vulnerabilities were laid bare, and the barriers between two hearts began to crumble.
The cafe, once a refuge from the storm, became a sanctuary where a silent connection, woven through shared passions and unspoken understanding, hinted at the possibility of something deeper, something that neither of them had anticipated when they sought shelter from the rain. Little did they know that this silent connection would serve as the foundation for a journey that would unravel the mysteries of their own hearts in the chapters yet to unfold.
Chapter 3: Unspoken Longing. In the wake of that rainy afternoon, the days in Crestwood unfolded with a certain sense of anticipation. John, the quiet man from the hardware store, found himself caught in a tide of thoughts that carried him beyond the routines of his everyday life. Emily's cafe, once just another establishment in the town, had become a haven that held the echoes of shared laughter and the resonance of unspoken connections. As days turned into weeks, John's thoughts gravitated more and more towards Emily. The quiet moments of solitude that he cherished became opportunities for reflection, and he found himself retracing the contours of their conversation in the cafe. The films they had discussed, the laughter they had shared, and the warmth he felt in her presence lingered in the recesses of his mind. The unspoken longing within John's heart began to carve out a space for itself, growing like a persistent flame that refused to be extinguished. He found himself questioning the nature of his emotions, grappling with the unfamiliar territory of desire and connection. The simplicity of his life, once a source of comfort, now seemed inadequate to contain the burgeoning feelings that Emily had stirred within him. Meanwhile, Emily, with her infectious charm and perceptive gaze, couldn't help but notice the subtle shifts in John's demeanor. The quiet man who had sought refuge from the rain now lingered longer in her cafe, and she sensed a certain vulnerability in his eyes that mirrored her own unspoken feelings. In the midst of serving coffee and engaging with patrons, she found herself stealing glances at John, each exchange laden with a quiet intensity that transcended the spoken word. As Emily navigated the bustling cafe, a warmth settled in her heart, a warmth that she hadn't experienced before. It wasn't just the comfortable camaraderie that had blossomed between them, it was something deeper, a resonance that defied explanation. The unspoken longing mirrored in John's eyes resonated with an echo in her own soul, and she, too, found herself captivated by the mystery of emotions that had taken root between them. Their interactions became nuanced, filled with unspoken gestures and shared glances that spoke volumes. The cafe, once a backdrop to casual conversations, transformed into a canvas where the hues of their emotions painted an evolving masterpiece. It was a delicate dance between two hearts, each step forward accompanied by the unspoken promise of something more. In the quiet corners of Crestwood, where the pulse of everyday life continued its steady beat, John and Emily found themselves entangled in the uncharted territory of longing, a dance of emotions that would propel them further into the labyrinth of their intertwined destinies. Little did they know that the chapters yet to unfold would delve deeper into the recesses of their hearts, unraveling the intricacies of desire and connection that had quietly taken root in the wake of that fateful encounter.
Chapter 4: Hesitant Hearts. In the tapestry of Crestwood, where the ordinary mingled with the extraordinary, John and Emily's connection continued to weave itself through the fabric of their lives. Their friendship, forged in the quiet moments of the cafe and the shared spaces of vulnerability, deepened with each passing day. However, amidst the blossoming emotions, a palpable hesitation lingered in the air, a mutual uncertainty that both dared not confront. As the warmth between them grew, so did the unspoken question that loomed like a gentle fog: what lay beyond the comfort of friendship? John, with his quiet introspection, grappled with emotions he hadn't allowed himself to entertain before. Emily, too, found herself standing at the precipice of something unfamiliar, a realm where friendship blurred with the shades of romantic possibility. Yet, both hesitated to traverse that delicate boundary. Unbeknownst to each other, the walls they had carefully built around their hearts concealed the scars of painful pasts. John, scarred by the echoes of a love lost too soon, was wary of exposing his heart to the vulnerability of affection. The wounds, though healed, had left imprints that made him tread cautiously on the delicate ground of emotions. Emily, with her radiant smile that often masked the shadows beneath, carried her own history of heartache. She had learned to find solace in the company of others, in the safety of friendships that skirted the edges of something more. The fear of risking another fracture in her heart made her reluctant to voice the emotions that stirred within. Their hesitation, though unspoken, painted the contours of their interactions. In the cafe, where laughter and camaraderie thrived, a subtle tension wafted through the air, a tension born from the unexplored terrain of their emotions. It was as if the universe, in its infinite wisdom, had placed a delicate pause on their story, urging them to confront the hesitations that held their hearts captive. Yet, despite the unspoken turmoil, their connection remained a source of solace for both. John found comfort in Emily's presence, a balm to the wounds that lingered in the recesses of his memories. Emily, in turn, discovered a kindred spirit in John, someone who understood the silent language of hesitant hearts. In the quiet spaces between their conversations, a dance of emotions unfolded, an intricate choreography of longing, fear, and the unspoken desire for something more. The chapters yet to be written held the promise of unveiling the depths of their hearts, but the hesitant beats echoed a reminder that the journey toward love was often paved with the echoes of past pain. Little did they know that the walls they had constructed around their hearts, though formidable, could not withstand the inevitable pull of the emotions that simmered beneath the surface, waiting for the moment when hesitant hearts would find the courage to take the next step.
Chapter 5: Shadows of the Past. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows over Crestwood, a stranger arrived in the town, a harbinger of change whose presence would unfurl the tendrils of the past, weaving them into the present. This mysterious arrival, veiled in an air of enigma, bore the weight of untold stories that stirred the winds of reminiscence and whispers of memories long buried. John and Emily, engrossed in the delicate dance of their budding romance, were initially oblivious to the stranger's arrival. The town, usually unassuming and predictable, felt an undercurrent of anticipation, as if the very air carried whispers of a past waiting to be unearthed. It was one evening, the sky ablaze with hues of twilight, that the stranger's entrance into Emily's cafe disrupted the serene normalcy of their lives. The stranger, a figure cloaked in shadows, cast an aura of mystery that reached into the corners of the room, where John and Emily sat, their unspoken connections still lingering like a fragile thread. As the stranger's eyes met John's, there was a flicker, a recognition that cut through the layers of time and brought forth memories best left forgotten. The room, once filled with the comforting hum of conversations, now seemed hushed, as if the past itself had taken a seat at their table. The stranger's presence became a catalyst, unraveling the carefully constructed layers of John and Emily's lives. It was as if the shadows of their pasts, concealed beneath the surface, now demanded acknowledgement. Scars that hadn't completely healed were brought into sharp relief, illuminated by the stranger's arrival like ghosts emerging from the shadows. John, with his guarded heart, felt the weight of old wounds resurfacing. The stranger's gaze unearthed memories that had settled in the recesses of his mind, memories that he had sought to bury beneath the mundane routines of his hardware store life. Emily, too, sensed a shift in the atmosphere, an unspoken tension that mirrored the storm clouds gathering outside. As the stranger lingered in Crestwood, the shadows of the past cast an uncertain pallor over the once promising romance. The tendrils of history, intertwined with the stranger's enigmatic aura, tested the resilience of the connection between John and Emily. The unspoken longings and hesitant hearts now faced a challenge, a reckoning with the memories that had shaped their present realities. In the chapters that followed, the shadows of the past would serve as both a crucible and a catalyst. John and Emily, once sheltered in the sanctuary of their budding love, now stood at the crossroads of history and the unknown, their hearts laid bare to the revelations that awaited them. The stranger, an unwitting orchestrator of change, left an indelible mark on Crestwood, setting the stage for a tale that would unfold against the backdrop of healing, resilience, and the unraveling of the shadows that had cast their haunting silhouette over John and Emily's lives.
Chapter 6: Broken Trust. In the wake of the stranger's arrival in Crestwood, the delicate equilibrium of trust that John and Emily had meticulously built began to crumble like a sandcastle against the relentless tide. The stranger, a harbinger of unsettling revelations, wielded the power to fracture the foundation of their budding romance, exposing the vulnerable underbelly of secrets that had long been buried. As the stranger's cryptic disclosures unfolded, a chill permeated the once warm atmosphere of Emily's cafe. John and Emily, their gazes now clouded with uncertainty, grappled with the weight of the revelations that cast a pallor over their shared world. The unspoken connection that had woven its tendrils around them now strained against the sudden tension that hung thick in the air. Secrets, like shards of shattered glass, emerged from the depths of the past. John, the quiet man of the hardware store, found his own history laid bare, a history he had carefully guarded against the prying eyes of the world. The stranger's words echoed with the haunting resonance of forgotten tragedies, forcing John to confront the ghosts he had long sought to bury. Emily, with her radiant smile now dimmed by the weight of the revelations, grappled with the fragments of trust that crumbled between her fingers. The cafe, once a sanctuary for shared laughter and quiet confessions, now bore witness to a silent unraveling. The stranger's presence had become a disruptor, a catalyst for a storm that threatened to engulf the fragile connection between John and Emily. The trust they had so delicately woven into the fabric of their friendship now lay scattered on the floor. The vulnerability of their hearts, exposed by the stranger's revelations, became a source of pain that seeped into the very essence of their relationship. The unspoken understanding that had flourished between them now hung by a thread, as the weight of their individual tragedies threatened to tear apart the delicate tapestry of their connection. John, grappling with the shards of his past, felt a sense of betrayal not only by the stranger's disclosures but also by the vulnerability he had allowed himself to embrace. Emily, torn between the loyalty to her newfound confidant and the haunting shadows of the past, found herself standing on shaky ground, uncertain of how to mend the fractures that had marred their once promising romance. In the aftermath of broken trust, John and Emily faced a pivotal crossroads. The chapters that awaited them held the daunting task of rebuilding what had been shattered, navigating the treacherous terrain of forgiveness, and finding a way to heal wounds that now lay exposed. As the storm outside mirrored the tumult within their hearts, the true test of their connection would be revealed in the resilience they could muster in the face of shattered trust and the determination to salvage what remained of their once unbreakable bond.
Chapter 7: Healing Wounds. In the aftermath of shattered trust, John and Emily found themselves standing at the precipice of a formidable challenge. The storm of revelations, brought by the stranger's unsettling disclosures, had left their connection fragile, the trust they had painstakingly built now scattered like debris in the aftermath of a tempest. However, amidst the ruins of their once promising romance, the possibility of redemption emerged, a chance to heal the wounds that had been laid bare. Faced with the stark realities of their individual tragedies, John and Emily made a choice to confront the shadows of their pasts together. The cafe, once a witness to the echoes of laughter and the warmth of connection, transformed into a space for shared vulnerability and raw honesty. It became a sanctuary for two wounded souls, each grappling with the weight of their histories and the scars that had defined them. As the storm outside began to relent, a different kind of turbulence enveloped John and Emily, a tumultuous journey of self-discovery, forgiveness, and the slow mending of broken hearts. They learned to share the pain that had long been guarded, allowing the other glimpses into the corners of their souls that had been veiled in secrecy. John, with his guarded demeanor softened by the trials of vulnerability, spoke of the tragedies that had etched themselves into the fabric of his existence. The loss, the heartache, and the wounds that ran deep, all laid bare in the quiet confessional of the cafe. Emily, in turn, shared her own tales of anguish, the chapters of her life marked by scars that had shaped her into the resilient woman she had become. In the sharing of their pain, a profound intimacy emerged. The cafe, now a crucible for healing, bore witness to the cathartic release of emotions that had long been confined within the recesses of their hearts. The wounds, though still tender, began to heal as the balm of understanding and shared experience worked its magic. The journey toward healing was no easy feat. It demanded patience, empathy, and a willingness to navigate the complexities of their intertwined pasts. Yet, in the crucible of adversity, John and Emily discovered a strength within themselves and each other that transcended the trials that had threatened to tear them apart. The cafe, once shadowed by the weight of broken trust, now echoed with the resonant notes of resilience. John and Emily's connection, tested and tempered by the fires of shared pain, emerged stronger than ever before. The difficult journey they undertook together became a testament to the transformative power of vulnerability, the beauty that could arise from the ashes of brokenness, and the profound closeness that could be forged when two souls faced their demons side by side. As the storm clouds outside dispersed, the sun cast its gentle glow upon Crestwood. John and Emily, having weathered the tempest of their own making, stood hand in hand, their hearts scarred but triumphant. The chapters that awaited them held the promise of a renewed love, a love forged not in the absence of pain but in the shared journey of healing that had brought them closer than ever before.
Chapter 8: Love's Resilience. In the wake of shared confessions and the mending of wounds, the once fragile connection between John and Emily began to metamorphose into a testament to the resilience of love. The cafe, once a backdrop for uncertainty and shattered trust, now bore witness to the emergence of a love that had weathered storms and emerged stronger on the other side. As the scars of their pasts began to fade, John and Emily found solace in the shared understanding that had arisen from their mutual vulnerability. The fragile bond that had been tested in the crucible of broken trust now stood as a testament to the transformative power of love, a love that could endure the weight of individual tragedies and thrive in the aftermath of healing. Their relationship, once marred by hesitation and shadows of the past, became an anchor for both John and Emily as they navigated the unpredictable waters of life together. The cafe, now an emblem of resilience and renewal, echoed with the melodies of laughter and quiet conversations, a harmony that spoke of a love that had not only endured but had blossomed amid adversity. The resilience of their love lay in the acceptance of each other's imperfections and the acknowledgement of the scars that had shaped them. John, once guarded and reserved, learned to lean on Emily for support, finding strength in the vulnerability that love demanded. Emily, with her radiant smile now restored, discovered a steadfast companion in John, someone who shared not only in the joys but also in the trials of life. Together, they confronted the uncertainties that lay ahead, a united front against the challenges that tested the fortitude of their connection. The cafe, once a witness to turmoil, became a haven where love's resilience flourished. In the quiet moments and shared glances, John and Emily found a source of strength that surpassed the fragility of their earlier days. The chapters that unfolded showcased a love that wasn't just romantic but also a source of support, understanding, and unwavering companionship. The scars of their pasts, though not forgotten, became a testament to the transformative power of shared vulnerability and the healing force of love. Their journey became an inspiration for those who bore witness, a reminder that love, when cultivated with patience and nurtured with empathy, could endure even the harshest of trials. In the heart of Crestwood, John and Emily's love story emerged as a beacon, a tale of redemption, resilience, and the enduring power of two hearts that had weathered the storms and emerged, hand in hand, into the warmth of a sunlit future. As the cafe's doors swung open to a new day, John and Emily, having traversed the tumultuous terrain of their pasts, faced the horizon with a shared sense of purpose and a love that had proven itself resilient against the winds of adversity. The pages of their story, once marked by uncertainty and pain, now bore the indelible ink of a love that had stood the test of time.
Chapter 9: A New Beginning. As the final chapter unfolded in the story of John and Emily, the small town of Crestwood witnessed the triumphant emergence of love from the shadows of the past. Hand in hand, the once hesitant pair stepped into the light of a new beginning, leaving the trials of broken trust and shared pain behind. The echoes of their pasts, once haunting and formidable, now served as a distant murmur in the background of their newfound love. Crestwood, a silent spectator to the trials and tribulations of their journey, transformed into a backdrop for celebration. The townsfolk, who had observed the couple's tumultuous path to healing, now joined in rejoicing the love that had overcome adversity. John and Emily, their connection fortified by the resilience they had discovered in each other, became a symbol of hope for the community. The cafe, where their story had unraveled and mended, now resonated with the melodies of joy and the harmonies of a shared future. The scars of their pasts, though not erased, became badges of strength and reminders of the transformative power of love. The town, once familiar with their individual tragedies, now embraced the couple with open arms. The resilience of their love story became a beacon for others, a testament that, even in the face of broken trust and shattered hearts, redemption and renewal were possible. The air in Crestwood, once heavy with the weight of secrets, now felt lighter, infused with the fragrance of hope and the promise of a brighter tomorrow. With a renewed sense of purpose and an unshakable bond, John and Emily stood at the threshold of a new beginning. The shadows of their pasts, though lingering like fading silhouettes, were no longer the architects of their fate. Instead, they became stepping stones towards a future where love had triumphed over adversity. As they ventured into this new chapter of their lives, John and Emily embraced the possibilities that lay ahead. The lessons learned from the trials of their journey became guiding stars, illuminating a path marked by shared dreams, laughter, and a love that had been tested and emerged unyielding. The townsfolk, once witnesses to their pain, now reveled in the celebration of love's victory. The cafe, a silent confidant throughout their tumultuous story, now bore witness to the tender moments of shared laughter and quiet confessions, a sanctuary where the echoes of their tragedies had given way to the symphony of a love that had found its rhythm. In the end, John and Emily's story unfolded as a testament to the transformative power of love, the kind that not only survives the storms but emerges stronger, more resilient, and ready to embrace the promise of a new beginning. As the curtain closed on this chapter, the couple walked hand in hand towards the sunrise of a future bathed in the warm glow of hope, leaving behind the shadows of their pasts and stepping into the brilliant light of a love that had triumphed against all odds.